As a volunteer board member, regardless of the type of nonprofit, it's necessary to take steps to reduce any potential loss or damage that could incur. So whether you're just joining a board or you are a longtime board member, we hope that you'll learn something new today. So welcome. Today I have Carrie McDonald from RV Nucio and Associates with us, and we are going to talk about bonding insurance and what bonding insurance is and who it covers. So welcome, Carrie.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So what can you tell us about bonding insurance? Why would my group, specifically my parent group, need it?
Well, much of these groups are fundraising money to benefit their schools or their groups in their activities. And that money is hard earned by all of their volunteer work and fundraising efforts. What they want to do is they want to protect the money from being lost, stolen, or destroyed. Right. And that is where bonding coverage comes into play. Mm. There are different types of bonding policies. There is a typical bonding policy where it only will cover the directors and officers that are listed on the application. Our policies are what we do call them bonding policies, but they really are crime policies. And when I say crime, we extend out much more coverages. So we cover not only the directors and the officers, but also the members and volunteers that help raise this money and may have this money in their possession at any time. So we cover employee dishonesty, and that provides protection for the loss of money and securities and other property resulting directly from a fraudulent or dishonest act committed by a member or of the organization. Mm-hmm. Then we have forgery or alteration. Forgery and alteration is done all the time. That provides protection for loss from outgoing checks, things of that nature that are fraudulently forged. Okay. And then we have theft, disappearance, and destruction. And that's really important because people that or groups that have raffles, they have fundraising activities, they have all sorts of ways that they're collecting money. And oftentimes this money is being collected at the schools and put in envelopes, and it's being carried to schools by kids with money in their backpacks and all different ways that this money is getting collected. And so they really need to have this coverage for the loss from theft, disappearance, or destruction. And when I say destruction, we've had husbands throw away bags of food. Bags of money before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Something else?
Yeah. Money's been kept in shoe boxes, all sorts of different ways that people are collecting money. And often we see that the money is stolen at the school level where it's being collected by a school employee. And with that, the schools usually will not punish the school employee that's done the theft for, legal reasons. Mm-hmm. So it's very important that these groups handle their money in a certain way that protects them from not having the money stolen from them. We're seeing a very high rise of this happening because of the pandemic, right. People needing money. Right. And it's very important that these groups do a monthly audit of their books. And when I say audit, like a bank reconciliation, and it should be looked at by somebody other than the officers that are signing the checks or having debit cards, things of that nature.
Right. We certainly encourage that at MoneyMinder. We have a workshop on that, actually. So right. We commonly have seen treasurers who we refer to it as embezzling money.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's no oversight on the books. And so this kind of insurance with the proper protocols in place might help those situations?
Well, it helps mitigate the loss. So if you're doing it on a monthly basis, I have had groups, I just had one that came for 5 years, had not had anybody looking over the president and the money. And
yeah, we've seen
literally took close to $300,000 or $400,000.
Oh,
over
right.
that span of the period. Bonding policies do have a time limit of when you should report a loss. So it has to be reported in a timely manner. So that is very important for these groups to really keep an eye on their money, to question things. There's no harm in questioning somebody. If somebody does get offended by being questioned, then they should look even harder into it, because
They
that's
probably
where
have something to hide.
pretty much, yes, yeah.
Right.
And if they're having a meeting once a month, it can be done once a month. It should go into their minutes that they've checked that. And it's simple to look at a treasurer's report and see that a bank reconciliation's been done by a third person, and really protect the money from that standpoint.
And do you require or strongly encourage folks to maybe sign those reconciliation reports?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. And date them probably.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is an area that we have seen some rising issues in at MoneyMinder that are unfortunate.
Yes, we see a lot of it happening with the debit cards now. And so when they look at the debit card statements, they need to be looking for, is Walmart on there? Is, Starbucks on there? There's like some classic ones that you're like, that's really not supposed to be on that. And to keep receipts, because you also don't want to accuse somebody of something just because they're bad at managing the money. And a lot of treasurers aren't good at managing it, because if you accuse somebody of that and they really didn't steal the money and they can prove that they didn't steal the money, the group can be sued for that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. A group should be very, very careful in looking into any time that they think money is being taken, and it should be done very discreetly and not mentioned to the rest of the membership until they've done a thorough investigation. And certainly a full audit should be done of the books at least once a year.
Good point. Yeah. It's important to have oversight and have good paper trails, just for a good practice. Right. You're right about it. It's not about accusing somebody or pointing fingers or placing blame or anything, because even just, small errors happen, like assigning a transaction to the wrong category when you're recording a transaction. And that's kind of what this oversight's about. It's just to make sure all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, right?
Absolutely.
So you just never need this insurance, even though you have it. That would
one would hope.
That would be awesome. Good. Well, thank you, Carrie, for joining us today and talking about bonding or crime insurance. I really appreciate you shedding some light on this. This is a big one these days. So thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.